welcome to another edition of Book Break, Fulton County Library System's Adult Story Time. My name is Ryland Johnson. I'm a librarian at the OC Library, and today we're going to visit some poetry by Langston Hughes, a great American poet who I love for his simplicity and his lyricism and his commitment to freedom and democracy. Let's begin with a little bit of biography about Langston Hughes. James Mercer Langston Hughes was born February 1st, 1901 in Joplin, Missouri, and he died on May 22nd, 1927. He was an American poet, a social activist, a novelist, a playwright, columnist, perhaps best known as a jazz poet of the Harlem Renaissance, which was an intellectual, social, and artistic period centered in the 1920s and 1930s in Harlem, Manhattan, New York City. Langston Hughes moved a lot as a child with his mother, who needed to move often to find work. Langston Hughes was raised mainly in Lawrence, Kansas by his maternal grandmother, Mary Patterson Langston. It was in Lawrence, Kansas, where Langston Hughes said that he began to understand the world through the lens of literature, finding happiness in the, quote, wonderful world of books. After his grandmother's death, Hughes moved again to Illinois and then to Cleveland, Ohio, where he would complete his secondary education. After high school, Langston Hughes moved to New York City to attend Columbia University. Becoming engaged with the Harlem art scene, Hughes began writing in earnest, writing poetry especially. His famous poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers, which is what many consider to be Langston Hughes's quintessential poem, was first published in The Crisis, in June 21, The Crisis being the official magazine of the NAACP. During the 1920s, Langston Hughes worked a number of odd jobs to support himself, including serving at sea on the SS Malone in 1923, spending nearly half a year traveling to West Africa and to Europe. In Europe, Hughes left the SS Malone for a temporary stay in Paris and then a stay in England where he wrote and worked. Langston Hughes returned to America after staying in England and enrolled in Lincoln University in Chester County, Pennsylvania, where he finished his bachelor's degree in 1929. After finishing his degree, Langston Hughes returned to Harlem, where he would remain except for trips abroad, including a Guggenheim Fellowship in 1935, which allowed him to travel to Spain and to Russia, and a brief stint in New Jersey. Langston Hughes would remain in Harlem for the rest of his life. And on May 27, 1967, Hughes died at the age of 65 from complications from cancer surgery. During his life, he was awarded 3 honorary doctorates, one from Lincoln University, another from Howard University, and another from Western Reserve University. He received numerous awards both during his life and after his life, and there are many posthumous awards and dedications in his name, including the Langston Hughes High School in Fairburn. Langston Hughes wrote countless poems and plays. His work is an essential contribution to the canon of American literature and is universally beloved for its kindness and its lyricism depicting the lives of working-class Black Americans. So today we're going to read just a few poems from this little book, Let America Be America Again. It's a great little book, and it's got some lovely little poems in it. So we're going to begin here with a poem, let me find it, called Dream of Freedom. So, Dream of Freedom by Langston Hughes. There is a dream in the land with its back against the wall by muddled names and strange. Sometimes the dream is called. There are those who claim this dream for theirs alone, a sin for which we know they must atone. Unless shared in common, like sunlight and like air, the dream will die for lack of substance anywhere. The dream knows no frontier or tongue. The dream no class or race. The dream cannot be kept secure in any one looked place. This dream today embattled with its back against the wall, to save the dream for one, it must be saved for all. Our dream of freedom. The next poem I'm going to read is called Search. All life is but the climbing of a hill, to seek the sun that ranges far beyond, confused with stars and lesser lights anon, and planets where the darkness reigneth still. All life is but the seeking for that sun that never lets one living atom die, that flames beyond the circles of the eye, where never and forever are as one. And seeking always through this human span that spreads its drift of years beneath the sky, confused with living goeth simple man, unknowing and unknown into the why that flings itself beyond the sun and back in space to where time was begun. The next poem I'm going to read is called Someday. Once more the guns roar, once more the call goes forth for men. Again, the war begins again. False slogans become a bore, yet no one cries, enough, no more. Like angry dogs, the human race loves the snarl upon its face, loves to kill, the pessimist says it always will. That I do not believe. Someday the savage in us will wear away. Someday, quite clearly, men will see how clean and happy life can be, and how, like flowers planted in the sun, we too can give forth blossoms shared by everyone. In time of silver rain, the earth puts forth new life again. Green grasses grow and flowers lift their heads, and over all the plain the wonder spreads of life, of life, of life. In time of silver rain, the butterflies lift silken wings to catch a rainbow cry, and trees put forth new leaves to sing in joy beneath the sky, as down the roadway passing boys and girls go singing too, in time of silver rain, when spring and life are new. Okay. Give us our peace. Give us a peace equal to the war, or else our souls will be unsatisfied, and we will wonder what we have fought for, and why the many died. Give us a peace accepting every challenge, the challenge of the poor, the black, of all denied, the challenge of the vast colonial world. that long has had so little justice by its side. Give us a peace that dares us to be wise. Give us a peace that dares us to be strong. Give us a peace that dares us still uphold throughout the peace our battle against wrong. Give us a peace that is not cheaply used, a peace that is no clever scheme, a people's peace for which men can enthuse, a peace that brings reality to our dream. Give us a peace that will produce great schools, as the war produced great armament. A peace that will wipe out our slums, as war wiped out our foes on evil bent. Give us a peace that will enlist a mighty army serving humankind, not just an army geared to kill, but trained to help the living mind, an army trained to shape our common good and bring about a world of brotherhood. And the last poem that I'm going to read today is called I Dream a World. Okay. I dream a world where man, no other man will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free, where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy like a pearl attends the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream my world. Thank you very much, and I hope that you've enjoyed this book break. We'll see you again next week. Take care.